All right, so I'm just gonna show you real quick how you can access this headlight and also the bumper if you need to remove it on these Avengers. Okay, I'm just gonna go through it really quick maybe to save you a little bit of time. Okay, this is gonna be for I'm doing little updates on this to show you how I'm doing with this Copart car that I bought. So I already got the headlight installed, but I'm going to show you where these bolts are and how to the best way the way that I used to get to it. So the first thing you have to do is remove this grill. I did not remove it to get to the bumper. Okay, the bumper has only 2 bolts at the top. Okay, so I just lifted this grill, and then I had access to those 10mm bolts on each side. I took those bolts off and pow, pulled the bumper out. Okay, the rest of the bolts, there's going to be some following along here. Look at this, right there, right there, right here. Okay, and you'll see when you take off the old bumper and look at the other bumper, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, removing the bumper. Now with the headlights, you got a few considerations for the headlight. First, there's a bracket that holds this headlight. This bracket here, there's only 2 bolts. I had a bag full of junk. I pulled out 5/16. I don't know what that translates to for millimeter, sorry. And I got that one off and that one there. I also pulled down. I don't have a whole lot of patience when I'm working on cars, so I just pull and break stuff sometimes and fix it afterwards. So I just moved this because it was flexible, okay, out of the way, because they build this stuff so you can't get to it, okay, to be able to reach that one, okay. Then this whole bracket comes off. Now for the headlight, from what I saw, if there are more bolts, I'm not putting them in. So I got this one here, which fits inside the bracket. So put the headlight in first. I'm sorry, do not tighten down this bracket. You'll know how to do it when you take off the old one if it's broken, okay. But what I did, I didn't tighten this bracket up first. I kind of like left it in the bracket and pushed everything in and got everything tightened, and I tightened these up last, okay, putting it back on. And then there's a bolt right there. There's also a Torx, okay. So there's a bolt there. There is one. Oh, there it is. Up there, same thing, lifting up the, don't you dare cut off, lifting up the son of a gun, lifting up the grill. There's a bolt right there, okay. And then there's a bolt over here on the side, right where the fender, where you put the bumper, right at the tip of the fender. That's one. That's actually a 10mm. And then, son of a gun, there's actually one up here. There's one here. There's one there. When I went to the junkyard, I always grab a bunch of bolts and things, so I gotta put one up there, and that's it. And there are four harnesses for 4 different lights on this. And two of them you need screwdrivers. The other you can get off. One of them I never even got off. Couldn't get it off. So I just twisted it and took the whole bulb out, because I did not wait to see how to get it off. Sorry. I don't mean to be. Sometimes I just don't have a whole lot of patience. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have so much, but it depends on, what can I say? There's no excuse. I'm impatient. All right, when it comes to cars. So I'm the guy who you're trying to take off a door molding or something like that, and I'll rip it off, and then I'll figure out how to get it back on the other side. Also, okay, so that's it. So a lot of this stuff, this is not for people who are not, I like to just help people save time. For those of you who need more involved tutorials, there's so many videos out here. So what I usually do is just try to show people a quick snapshot of how to do things, and then sometimes I'll show videos how to maybe improve something that someone else did. But I don't do a whole lot of overlap with other people's videos. There's some incredible guys out there. Like, I'm a huge fan of Chris Fix, Eric the Car Guy, guys like that. Anyway, here's my bumper. I got 3 coats. I used I cut corners. So instead of using the OEM paint first, I used a automotive paint and primer black first to cheat. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I started anything, I used adhesion promoter, the Bulldog. I'm always, that stuff smells terrible. I need some new respirators. That stuff is toxic. But I used the Bulldog. I only used one coat this time, okay? For that. So that's the bumper. Might do one more coat and then have to clear coat it. Okay? You know, it looks good. I cleaned it up, degreased it, sanded it some with a, I don't know, I don't remember what I used. I used like a little sanding block. And this is a low-cost car. It's a low-cost car. I'm trying to, my major focus is always on the, that's the sidebar. My major focus is always on the mechanics. And the aesthetics, I love aesthetics and everything, but there's not but so much I'm willing to put in. And I might keep this car, I might sell it, what have you. Here is the door and rocker panel thing that I said I was going to do. Okay. Down here, all I did was I cleaned this up. I cleaned it, sanded it down, some to bare metal. I primed it, and I did the same thing. I used I used that paint and primer, and then I used the OEM paint to try to save. They only had one can at the auto store, and I cleaned all the way up there really good. Notice the door's dusty. I cleaned all the way up here very well, and so I just sprayed this, and so now I still have to probably clear the door. I don't know how much I'm going to get into that. We'll see. I'm going to play that by ear. But anyway, that looks so bad, and now it looks a heck of a lot better.